My name is Thomas Whitney. I'm the principal of Lakenheath High School. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guests. From the RAF Lakenheath, Colonel Mark Sierra. From the 48th Fighter Wing, Vice Commander and his wife Elaine. From RAF Mildenhall, Colonel Joseph Rushlow, Commander of the 100th Maintenance Group and his wife Susie. Chief Master Sergeant David Lee, also from the 100th Maintenance Group, and his wife Gwyneth. From the School Liaison Office, Lisa Thompson and Megan Fraser. The Lakenheath Complex Administrators, Mr. Leo Orlando from the District Office, Ms. Zimmerman-Bayer, Principal, and Ms. House, Assistant Principal from Lakenheath Middle School, Ms. Sutherland, Principal, and Mr. Ontiveros, Assistant Principal from Lakenheath Elementary School, and Ms. Scarlett Lake, Assistant Principal from the Virtual School. We do have one student graduating with us tonight who's getting a Virtual School diploma. Now I'd like to extend a special welcome to grandparents, siblings, relatives, and friends of our high school seniors, especially those of you who have traveled so far to be here. Most of all, however, I'd like to welcome the parents of our 83 soon-to-be graduates. As a parent of 4 children who graduated from Judea High Schools, 1 from Kadena High School and 3 from Bramstein High School in Germany, I know that although this night is about the students, it's also about the parents. Tonight's ceremony is very significant. It marks both an ending, as in graduation, and a beginning, as in commencement. For some of you, it may be your first child's high school graduation, or for some, it may be your last child's graduation, which even makes it more significant. The motto of the class of 2013 is, "Destiny is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for, it is a thing to be achieved." All of us assembled this evening get to be a part of their destiny, if not just for a small interval of time. We also get to witness and later celebrate their achievement. Now, in reference to the celebration, it is the policy of the Department of Defense education activity that the graduation ceremony at each of our high schools is an occasion which will be conducted with dignity and decorum. This ceremony is held to honor the graduates, and in line with their motto, it is part of the senior class's destiny and choice to have the ceremony in this dignified, historic landmark in Ely. With that in mind, you are requested to applause at the appropriate time in the ceremony. Please do not shout out when the students' names are read or when they receive their diploma. We all want to hear the messages that the students have submitted with their 40 words. There will be time for applause when each row completes the cycle of receiving diplomas and returning to their seats. So I thank you in advance for modeling this appropriate behavior. Each student will receive their diploma in the front and center. You will have an opportunity to take a photo. So you are welcome to move to the center aisle or to stand up and take a photo from your seat at the appropriate time. In case your graduate cannot easily find you in the audience, please be sure to silently motion so we can turn in your direction for the best photo shoot. And if you haven't done so already, based on Allie's advice, please be sure to silence your cell phones. Parents, on behalf of the staff of Lakenheath High School, we share your pride and joy. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy follow-up celebrations. This weekend will also be a time to celebrate and reminisce about the 18 years you have spent with your child. I will now leave the podium and move down to the floor as a signal for the procession of faculty and students to begin. Please remain seated during the procession.
Good evening. I'm Alexandra Lasoon, Senior Class President, and I would like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the Lakenheath Class of 2013. I would like to start the evening with some thanks. First, I would like to thank the Dean of this magnificent cathedral, which has stood as a beacon of light and hope for our two nations for many years. The Very Reverend Mark Bowman. Thank you for your hospitality and allowing us to again celebrate this milestone in these hallowed and historic zones. Next, I would like to thank the faculty and administration of Lakenheath High School. You put up with an exciting yet traumatic 4 years. What with the forever loud hallways, busy schedules, and the very real possibility that half of us wouldn't be standing here without your dedication to entering the work. A special thank you goes to Mr. Rehak and Ms. Daly, our senior class advisors. Your support, insight, and inspiration made this a very special year, and you taught us many lessons I and many of my classmates will take with us throughout our lives. A big thank you goes out to our friends and families. I know many of you traveled from oceans away to be a part of this wonderful and special day. There are people who have come from around the world and across the U.S., like my grandparents from Minnesota or my aunt from Washington, D.C., to share this special time with us. Many others have come from around Europe and across the country. We appreciate all of you, and your presence here tonight makes this extra special. We couldn't have gotten here without our parents. You have loved, supported, pushed, hugged, chastised us, cried, shook your head, thrown up your hands, and helped us to be here tonight. Thank you for your love and support. A huge and final thank you goes out to our class. We couldn't have done it without each other. We've been there through the laughter and the tears, the hugs and the heartbreaks, the friendships and the fights. These past 4 years have involved some of the most memorable and influential moments of our lives. Our experiences at Lakenheath High School have been unique, but together we share a common bond as members of the class of 2013 and soon to be Lakenheath Lancer alumni. Being a part of the 2013 graduating class has created a whirlwind of memories and adventures that as a class we can always share. When we all first began high school, we had an amazing picture in our minds of what we thought it would be like. When I thought of going to high school, I had pictured a glamorous but intimidating place full of mature kids who were really smart, talented, and old. There were always no library or studying. The campus was so big and spread out that it was impossible to get from one class to the next, and most kids spent half their time lost. The seniors always went to competitions, and there were so many students walking around that it would be impossible to know everything. And then, starting on August 24, 2009, reality was set in. We arrived on campus to find that we were supposed to be those mature kids. The library was hardly ever open. We didn't have time to get a pass before school, at lunch, during seminar, or after school. The campus isn't that big, but it's almost impossible to make it to all your classes on time. Maybe that's just us. We ended up a grade that could never seem to win patterns on football, but still always seemed to win homecoming. We were a grade so small that we never acquired a full set of bleachers. We may not have had the numbers, but what we lacked in quantity, we made up for in quality. Being a Lancer has provided all of us with so many incredible opportunities that we could have never had anywhere else. At Lakenheath, you can try out for pretty much any sports team and not get cut. You can join any club or organization and play a big role in it. You can travel to different countries all over Europe simply for school trips. But most of all, you can find a place where you fit in and feel accepted. Being a part of Lakenheath has taught us that no matter where you are, you can always find someone with a connection. Whether it's where you moved from, what your hobbies are, or simply the classes you plan on taking. This high school isn't a school we have all known each other since kindergarten onwards. This is the type of school where new people move in from everywhere, and your best friends constantly move out. This is a school that is always changing. These changes have helped define who and what we are. The most significant lessons that high school has taught us cannot be found in books. We have learned to be responsible, honest, mature, and independent individuals. We know what we are, but not what we make. These words, penned by William Shakespeare, remind us that what we have learned here is who we are. What we do with it is what will matter. Lakenheath High School has prepared us for the future, near and far, and is a milestone in our lives. It is now our time to do something with what we have learned. As we leave high school, we think to ourselves, I'm not ready for this. How am I going to go off on my own? I'm not old enough to make all these decisions. And who does need to learn to meet and grow. It's time to figure out who we are and have a little fun. Take the wrong train and end up in the middle of nowhere. Make friends with everyone, because you can't possibly have enough friends. And go to new places, because your world is full of endless possibilities. Don't be afraid to take some chances. Change your mind and have no clue what you're going to do with life. Because you know what? All of that is part of the growing up process. And as scary as it seems now, we're all ready and prepared to enter the scary world all by ourselves. Make our own decisions and create a life that we can be proud of. As Winston Churchill once said, success is never final, failure is never fatal, it is courage that counts. Let us face this world with the courage that Lakenheath has fostered within each and every one of us. Graduating from Lakenheath High School has laid the foundation and prepared us for handling what life throws us in our future. Just like getting ready for school in the unpredictable weather here in England, Lakenheath High School has dressed us for the changes life has in store. No matter where we are in the world, we will always have a network of friends that I made in high school that will always be there for us. We will have the values we have learned here, and I will face the world knowing that we have plans for hands. We have been waiting for this moment for 4 long years, and it's finally here. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." It's now time to go and realize our dreams. Without further ado, friends, families, and faculty, welcome to the graduation ceremony for the Lakenheath High School Class of 2013.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin Ennerman, and as the class president, I'm given the honor of introducing to you the 2012 salutatorian. We consider the salutatorian one as ranked second in the class in academic achievement, and is required to remember the salutatorian address. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to present to you this year's salutatorian. Ladies and gentlemen, Liam Cole.
Winter is coming. During winter next year, everyone you see on the stage will be somewhere else. Whether at college or doing anything, each and every one of us will choose his or her own path to take. But that is in the future, and graduation is here. Once, when I was 5, I was offered $1 for every 5 minutes I sat still during this very ceremony in this same cathedral. Sadly, I failed to convince my parents to repeat the offer this year. As monotonous as watching nearly 100 teens walk across the stage may be, it's probably just as good as what you'd be doing at home. Walking across the stage is not just taking a few steps to shake a hand and receive a sheet of paper. It's taking a few steps toward actual life. Doing my own laundry, just like Allie said, is a more daunting task than any I've faced in these 4 years. But rather than looking forward, I was told to talk about looking back. So I invite you to join me in reminiscing about the past. Certainly, there are many memories to look back fondly upon. Not least is our football team's famous victory. Famous because it was the only one. That's not to say they were awful, but the epithet of Lancer hands was coined for a reason. Perhaps the most surreal moment I had in high school was when the student body was told to expect to receive grinder reminders at the upcoming school dance. Subsequently, we were left to contemplate whether a grinder reminder was reminding us that it was not an acceptable form of dance, or whether the administration would be reminding us how to properly execute the dance move. To my dismay, we never did receive a demonstration. Let us not forget freshman year. Boys ran around like idiots, and the girls tried their best to seem unaffiliated with us in each and every possible way. Thankfully for all of us, parents included, being a freshman is only a temporary pitfall of growing up. Sophomore literally means wise fool in ancient Greek. Unfortunately, the first word only makes an appearance when that sophomore is arguing with his or her parents. Many parents in the audience would agree that this was the time they found out their child knows everything. Junior year, we only became more knowledgeable, which after knowing everything is quite an accomplishment. As a junior, we were often so overcome by grief that we were not seniors, it was quite hard to function. Then senior year finally arrived, and we had 2 semesters to ward off senioritis as long as possible. I'm here to tell you today that senioritis is no myth. It is a serious and very real condition that affects the brain in an obvious way. Who would wait till 2 months after the due date to turn in the most important paper of the year? A senior. But now we are finally in graduation, itching to move our tassels from one side of our hat to the other. A simple motion that will set our class firmly on the path to rule the world. Many complaints have been lodged about the current generation. They're lazy. They play too many video games. There's the classic line, "When I was your age, I thought nothing of walking 2 miles to school." Well, we don't think much of it either. But I can tell you that we are not lazy. Sitting before you are some of the future leaders of the world. A scary thought for some of you, but not for me. I have the utmost confidence that all of us will make a difference. There are many problems to fix, many caused by the generation that does the complaining, that the men and women sitting in front of you today will have to deal with. The individuality of our generation is something that I will always hold dear, and I believe that each person sitting in front of you will make the world better in their own way. I would like to leave you with the wise words of one Tyrion Lannister. Never forget who you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used against you.
Tonight, I have the honor of introducing Lakenheath High School's valedictorian of 2013. The valedictorian is a student in every graduating class with the highest cumulative grade point average. Not only has this year's valedictorian achieved the highest GPA in the senior class, but she has earned the positions of National Honor Society Secretary and volleyball captain, which is very impressive because we all know how hard our is. Through hard work and determination, this senior led the volleyball team to 3rd place, which is the best they have ever done. Knowing her personally, I can genuinely say that she is hardworking, kind, and always willing to help others. Oregon State will be lucky to have this lady in the fall. I am proud to introduce the Lakenheath High School valedictorian of 2013, Kaylin Rasmussen.
It's been a great year, right? We've been looking forward to this day for the last 4 years, and it's finally come. We've worked hard and finished our high school careers, so now what? I'll tell you what, all of us are headed in different directions. Some of us are headed off to college to pursue our goals of higher education. We're trading the annoyances of high school for the difficulties of university. School isn't going to get any easier, and neither is life. But we are all going to experience a new degree of independence, and that is something to be excited about. Some of us are joining the armed forces, going off to proudly serve in the world's greatest military. Those of us who are going to serve, or have already enlisted, have a proud nation at their backs, cheering them on towards success. Some of us are headed into the world, preparing for the next stage in life, working for a living and becoming fully independent. Regardless of where we are headed, though, we all have one thing in common. This chapter of our lives is almost over. When we move our classes tonight, we begin a new adventure. We take what we know, what we've been taught, what we've figured out along the way, and we apply it to the next phase of our lives. We have to take all of the things life has taught us about hard work and apply them to college, to the military, or to any career or path that we choose. Hard work has gotten us this far, and now is not the time to give it up. Hopefully, life has also taught us the value of friendship. As military kids, we've all had to leave behind a best friend or two, and unfortunately, many of us will have to do it again very soon. In the future, we need to remember to hold on to those friendships which have made us better people, and always strive to find true friends wherever we go. The next few weeks, though, are going to be a blast. We're going to have a great time knowing there are no more assignments, no more projects, no more teachers to answer to. But sooner or later, we've all got to wake up and begin the next chapter. And that isn't a bad thing. Moving on is an incredibly important part of life, an important part of growing up, and it's something we should always embrace. I mean, seriously, could you imagine being permanently stuck as a freshman? Ew. Nobody likes being stuck. So go out there and find whatever it is you do best, whatever it is you're meant to do, and do it. Be the best version of who you are, whether that is a doctor, a musician, a professional athlete, or a stay-at-home mom. I know that everyone in this class is capable of doing something great. Now it's simply a matter of doing it. I know you all are probably tired of listening to me and just want to get your diplomas. But first I want to take a minute to thank everyone who has made all of this possible. Thanks to all the teachers at LHS for striving to take each of us and make us better. All of your support and guidance in the last 4 years has gotten us here, and you finally get to figure us out. To all of my classmates' parents, you did a good job. It might not be easy to see them go, but your efforts have paid off. To my parents, thank you for everything. I feel like I'm really ready to go live my life, to transition into the real world. All because you two have always raised me to be my own person. Thank you for these last 18 years and everything you've taught me. I love you guys so much. And to Lakenheath class of 2013, we made it.
class secretary of 2013, and I will be giving the introduction ceremony for our graduation speaker tonight. The man that I am presenting today has often been confused with Frodo Baggins by his students. He is a man with a great understanding of history and government, and after knowing little pieces of information no ordinary person would know, and a fondness for learning what's hip in today's current society. The man that I am introducing as this year's graduation speaker is Mr. Dawson. Mr. Dawson is a wonderful history and government teacher at LHS who teaches his students many things, both relating to social studies and to not. He has been teaching for almost 17 years total, and he has spent 12 of those years at Lakenheath. He graduated from Ohio State University with a major in history and went on to become a wonderful teacher and an inspiring man. When I had an interview with him, I asked him what he feels the school has done for him, and he said this: "Being given the chance to work with and teach God's students has been a wonderful opportunity and a privilege. Seeing the motivation from this fine mix of students is truly an honor. But saying that, I would like to reassure you, Mr. Dawson, that you have made a difference in the lives of your students, as well as made a strong and fortified learning experience for us at Lakenheath High School. So without any further ado, I would now like to present Mr. William Dawson."
Before we get started, I want to put this on Facebook, so if you could all smoosh together. I'll try to tag you all in the picture. Once one of them explains how I do that. Class of 2013, honored parents, esteemed guests, dedicated colleagues, I am honored to be asked to give this commencement address tonight. Now, Mrs. Janice Reddy reminded me today that William Henry Harrison gave the longest inaugural address in American history. It was over 8,000 words. Oh, this is when I usually say, this is interesting, and you tell me it isn't. But it was over 8,000 words. It took over 2 hours to say, and he was dead 32 days later. Now, I'm not quite sure if she was giving me a helpful hint or a veiled threat. Mrs. Reddy's from Texas, and as they like to remind us, don't mess with Texas. So this speech will be somewhat short. No joke. For those of you who don't know me, I am a teacher that many of the students, as said before, I've been incorrectly compared to Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, or Frodo from the Lord of the Rings movie. I personally feel that a better comparison would be with the actor Ryan Reynolds, albeit a short, balding, middle-aged. To remain hip, as said before, to the cultural trends of teenagers, I did a little research on possible topics and delivery styles for my speech. So like a modern-day Jane Goodall, I looked into the mist of popular teenage culture to become more socially aware. Here are my findings. Number 1, this is what's popular today. Number 1, vampires. Specifically vampires who sparkle in the sunlight and decide to live eternity in high school. Now this reminded me, this sounds a lot like being a Dodds high school teacher, especially in the UK, but instead of sparkling, we just become very, very pale. Number 2, zombies. Zombies seem very popular today. Grumpy, undead creatures grunting and shuffling along. Once again, seems very similar to LHS, especially in the cafeteria or in the morning when the teachers haven't had their morning cup of coffee. And finally, number 3, huge popular movies like High School Musical and TV shows like Glee it seems that teenagers today want a huge musical song and dance number. I can't sing, I can't dance, and like Mrs. Ellis and Mrs. Urim, I'm too warm and fuzzy to be a zombie. So I think I'll give my speech in an unusual format, and that is in the form of a lecture. So if everyone could please take out their notebooks. So let's begin. First off, parents, I have to tell you about a grave concern I have at LHS. There's a terrible, terrible outbreak of narcolepsy going on. And if someone could still check to make sure Mr. Whitney's still awake. Here I am. I can be giving a riveting lecture on the procedural differences between the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, and I look out and one of your children, my students, is falling fast asleep. Most likely, Aaron Johnson is asleep right now. Sorry. Or Tyler Everett is probably wandering around the room back there. In an attempt to correct this, I try to pepper my lectures with hilariously funny jokes like, what do you call twins? Roommates. And yet they still have trouble staying awake. I wonder if this is the reason that our students have trouble arriving to class on time or using a belt and buckle in the correct format. But in reality, I do feel very, very blessed to have the opportunity to work with such a fine group of young men and women. Sure, both parents and teachers at times become very frustrated with their antics. When I started teaching, I had a full head of hair, perfect eyesight, and I was 6'2". Due to student-related stress and poor penmanship, the hair is gone, I have to wear glasses, and I was lying about ever being 6'2". Now, Lakenheath kids, though, truly are, and Dodds kids truly are, a splendid example of what America has to offer this world. All I have to do is to speak to teachers stateside, and I soon realized what a unique group of young adults we have the privilege to work with at LHS. I mean, when typically the worst you have to deal with at a school is the occasional sleepy student, tardiness, or dress code violation, you know that you are blessed. Our students, their intellectual curiosity, their maturity, and their sense of service consistently renew my faith in the future of our nation and the world. I now want to speak directly to the class of 2013. There are three things that you should not take for granted. 1, your education. 2, your right to vote, and 3, your family. Be thankful for the education you've just received. Be thankful that you live in a society that has both the means and inclination to educate you all. In many parts of the world, education is the purview of the wealthy few. Quite often, due to brutal economic realities or local cultural norms, only boys are allowed the privilege of education. Earlier this year, a young Pakistani girl by the name of Malala was shot in the head by the Taliban. Her only crime was to find their ban on girls going to school. Her first thoughts upon recovery was to return to school and continue her fight for girls and their rights to an education. What a great example for us all. Not only should we all value the education we have received, we should all continue to expand our horizons and take advantage of the many educational opportunities that surround us. Graduates, I would also ask you to take a moment to think about and thank the many dedicated teachers and staff that you have here at LHS and at other schools you may have attended. You and your parents may not have always agreed with us. You may not have even liked us all. But please remember that we've had the best interests at heart. We dedicated ourselves to higher education and serving the military community, and we never quit. Let us all remember as well the selfless acts and dedication of the teachers, staff, and administrators of Sandy Hook Elementary School. They gave their lives to protect their students, and this should inspire us all, regardless of our professions. The final lines in the Declaration of Independence states, "And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." Our founding fathers are the first of many who risked everything and sacrificed much for the many rights and liberties we have as Americans. From the battles at Yorktown and Lexington to the Normandy invasion, which occurred 69 years ago yesterday, from suffragettes who fought for a woman's right to vote, to the civil rights activists who braved a perilous journey to the segregated South to defend the voting rights of African Americans. Many have fought and died for our right to vote, and we should honor that sacrifice by putting at least as much time, energy, and thoughtfulness into who we vote for as we spend playing on Facebook or researching which smartphone is best. Use the resources available, use that smartphone to check the facts. Never before has so much primary source information been available to us all. Be your own fact checker. Finally, as Sir Isaac Newton said, "If I have seen a little further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." He was talking about the scientific works of men like Descartes. For most of us, the giants have been our friends and family. Our successes are in no small part connected to their support. I am reminded today that almost 45 years ago, I was adopted by the most loving and perfect parents, Zane and Sharon Dawson. God chose for me the perfect family, and I have at times been remiss in expressing my gratefulness and my love, and my thanks to a loving and selfless mom, a caring sister, an amazing dad, who I lost a few months back, and I want to thank them. I was not the easiest child to raise, and I hope all of you will take the time over the next few days and through the rest of your life to express your thanks to your friends and family that helped and supported you through the years. Thank you, and good luck.
Kaylin has had a great 4 years at LHS. She wants to thank Noel for the laughs, Mr. Rehab for the guidance, Dale, Olivia, Anne, Beth, and Story for their continual support. She would like to thank her mom and dad for their unconditional love.
Alexandria Marie Kelly Katoon.
Allie thanks her parents for their love and support, shaping her into the woman she is today. Thanks to Annika for always being her best friend, and thanks to her friends, especially Ben, who have made her senior year incredible, to the moon and back.
Price Aaron Bennett.
Price would like to thank his mom, sister, and friends for always being there and for supporting his every dream. We should remember, life isn't the numbers of breaths you take, but the moments that take our breath away.
Killian Robert Lewis Court.
Graduation is a ritual where we award diplomas with the hope that we've learned enough to read them. Even if that skill is not present, Killian urges his classmates to heed the words of a wise fish. Just keep swimming.
Benjamin Walter Interman.
Ben would like to give thanks to his father, a huge thanks to all of his fans over these past 4 years, and thanks to his best friend, Allie, for everything she has helped make this past year be.
Brandon Scott Brown.
Brandon would like to thank his parents for giving him life and happiness, his siblings for the good memories, his grandparents for their wisdom, his friends for the laughs, and his beloved Katie Cat for her purity. God bless us all.
Kyle Thomas Paponia.
Kyle would like to thank his parents and siblings for their support throughout his high school experience. He would also like to thank Mr. Dawson for sticking with him through the bad and the good.
Alexandra Nicole Bora.
Alexa thanks her mom, dad, and Mackenzie for their undying love and support, her sister Madison for constantly making her smile, and her best friend Ashley for always being there. Goodbye to the rain and sheep, hello to white sandy beaches.
Lori Anna Highlander.
Lori would like to thank her mom, dad, sister, and brother for helping her to push on when she wanted to give up. She would also like to thank all her friends, especially her dinosaur buddies.
Curtis Robert Fields.
Curtis would like to thank his family for all their support. He would like to say thank you to his friends here for making it fun. He's glad he spent his last few months of high school here with us.
Adriana Adele Stiefel.
John Lennon wrote, "There is nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be." Thank you to Adriana's friends and family for bringing her happiness, but especially Adriana's wonderful parents for helping her become the person she is today.
Restine Katrin Azur.
Christine would like to thank her mom and dad for all the love and support she has gotten from them every step of the way. Special thanks to her best friend Mika for making senior year unforgettable.
Jack Travis Roast.
Jack would like to thank Google, Wikipedia, SparkNotes, the College Board, Yahoo Answers, True.com, Facebook, Dropbox, Microsoft, and the writers of the 5-Step books for their support. He would also like to thank his friends, family, and the teachers for being great.
Kimball Jackson Leonard.
Even if you fall on your face, you're still moving forward. Kimball has fallen on his face many times, and Mom and Dad are always there to pick him up, so he thanks you. Thanks to everybody, and live your lives.
Zachary Tyler Everett.
Thanks, Mom, Dad, and all my teachers.
Colin Ray Burgess.
Colin is excited to move on to the university both of his parents graduated from, and his sister is attending now. He's looking forward to the new challenges of life on his own and college in general.
Michael Del Bush.
Michael has been waiting to be finished with high school since 3rd grade. Now that it's over, he'd like to recognize his parents for helping him get through it and his friends for making the times memorable.
Ian W.T. Nestle Cadet.
There are countless numbers of people to whom Ian owes a great thanks.
Alexander Scott Asbury.
Alex would like to thank Andrew, Anthony, Austin, Aiden, Avery, Addison, Alyssa, Aaron, Eric, Mom and Dad for supporting him in everything he does. It's been real, LHS.
Alexander Peyton Channel Wilson.
Winston Churchill said, "The empires of the future are the empires of the mind." Alexander is thankful to his parents for their guidance and love along his journey around the globe. Alexander would also like to thank all 4 of his grandparents for hopping the pond.
Caleb Scott Channel Wilson.
Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." This is very true, even after 13 years and 9 different schools. Caleb would like to thank Mom and Dad, his family and friends, and Mrs. O'Meara.
Tommy Davies Christensen.
Tommy is happy to be finishing high school and moving on to the next chapter in his life. Although he is headed to university, he will never forget the amazing people here who made him who he is today.
Kyle Quinton Nelson.
Kyle would like to thank all the people who helped him get here. He would especially like to thank his mother because she believed in him even when he didn't.
Glenn Thomas Jones.
Glenn would like to give the absolutely biggest thanks to his parents and grandparents for pushing him to believe in himself. Glenn would also like to thank his friends for providing him with the best possible experience he could imagine.
Elliot Robert Gardner.
Elliot would like to thank his parents for everything they have done for him. He could have not made it this far without them their help.
Stevie Darrell James Stephens.
Through the grace of God and the support of his family and friends, this chapter of Stevie's life is closed and a new one will soon begin. It's been real, Lakenheath. Graduation down and college bound.
Devin Leonard Julian.
Devin would like to thank his friends and family for their love and support.
Jordan Nicole Faith Jewell.
Being yourself in a world trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Jordan thanks their family for never letting her lose sight of what's most important and always being around to keep her strong.
Albert Jones.
Albert thanks his mom, dad, and sister for always being there for him. He also thanks his friends and teachers for making high school a lot of fun. Albert's going to miss everyone here.
Wesley Tyler Flossie Lutemeyer.
Throughout his life, Wesley has been shown love and support from his friends and family. They have always been there pushing him to become a better student and a better person. He would like to thank everyone, especially his loving mom and dad.
Xavier Robert Thompson.
For Xavier, Lakenheath has been a great time and provided him with more opportunities to than he knew what to do with. He hopes that his friends here remember him when he runs for president.
Alexis Nicole Knupp. Wrong name. Yeah. Rachel Ann Morris.
Rachel would like to thank her parents for everything they have done for her over the years.
Now, Alexis Nicole Knupp.
Mom, Dad, Alexis wants to thank you for everything you've done. She knows you'll always be there for her. Her friends have made England an amazing experience, and she knows she's ready to be on her own next year at UCF.
Abraham Alonso.
Abraham would like to thank his mom and dad for always pushing him to work and study hard, to always try his best at school, and that education is the key to his success in life. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Chance Guy Red.
At this point in Chance's life, things could get better or they could get worse. Worse is what he anticipates, but better is preferred. Chance has achieved a diploma and looks forward to minimum wages while going to college full time.
Marissa Sky Carpenter.
Marissa wants to thank everyone for 4 amazing years. Biggest thanks to Mom, Dad, and Tyler for everything. She loves you guys. To all her friends, the memories have been incredible. Good times she'll never forget. Much love, Pete.
Jaheem Keith McSween.
Jaheim would like to thank his family for their support during his high school career.
Daryl Keith Collins II.
Gerald would like to thank his mom and dad and big sister for all the love and support. He'd also like to thank his teen advisor, Miss Perry, for all the help she has given. Last of all, thanks to all of Daryl's friends for the great memories.
Shanika Shamoy Chicky.
It's really an amazing feeling for Shanika to look at her parents and see their eyes filled with tears of joy. To my mom and dad, stepmom and stepdad, and teachers, thank you all for pushing me. We did it.
Heather Suzanne Shepperly.
This has been one of Heather's best and quickest years at Lakenheath. She is so happy for all of the projects she got to work on. She will also dearly miss her friends and classmates after graduation.
Daniel Joseph Trahan.
This is but a step in the long, winding path of life, but what lies ahead holds something so brilliant that I must thank everyone who has guided me through my high school years.
Abby Garth Brookman.
Garth would like to thank his family, friends, and teachers for all the support. They have inspired in Garth a desire to reach for a higher ground. Garth thanks God for the grace to endure and overcome the tough challenges. Forward ever.
Jonathan Cameron Rodriguez.
JC would like to thank his school mom, Mrs. Scott, for everything she did for him. Without her, he wouldn't be where he is now. JC would also like to thank his dad and Emily, his girlfriend, for being there and supporting him. I love you.
Sean Michael Palmer.
Sean's plans may not be definitive after graduation. entire family for all the support. Live long and prosper.
Aaron Michael Johnson.
Aaron would like to thank his family, friends, and teachers for helping him through his years of schooling and ask that they continue to do so for his next 4 years of college.
Daniel Thor Dorset.
Daniel is an Icelandic American graduate who was born in Italy. He would like to thank the friends, teachers, and family who helped him overcome great obstacles in his life and have made this moment possible.
Catherine Elaine Weiss.
Katie would like to thank her family for their support. She would also like to thank her 2 best friends, Megan and Jasmine, for making her high school years the best and most unforgettable. Thank you, and I love you.
Paul Austin Nastaff.
Paul would like to thank all of his family and friends who have been with him from the beginning to the very end. Paul had a great 4 years of high school, thanks to everyone around him.
Kelly Nicole Bowden.
Thank you, family, friends, and teachers for helping Nicole through high school. Mom and Dad, you motivated Nicole to succeed even when she didn't want to. Thanks. Michaela, James, and Jessica, you're the best support group ever. Watch out, world. Here she comes.
Ashlyn Danae Pierce.
Ashley would like to give special thanks to her parents, who have always loved and supported her throughout her life. They have pushed her towards her goals and dreams, and she would not be where she is today without them.
Audrey Madison Price.
Audrey would like to thank her brothers, dad, and friends for always giving her a good laugh. Thanks to her sisters for being the brightest lights in her life, and her mom and stepdad for being her biggest fans. I love you.
Renzo Almir de Rossi Palacios.
For the past years that have passed, many thanks should go out to the helping hands that gave warm handshakes and embraces. Many thanks to the teachers who gave pats on the back and advice, and thanks to the family who trusted and encouraged.
Kim Roy Dela Cruz Lima.
Kim Roy would like to thank his family and friends for supporting him to get through high school. Kim Roy thanks all of his teachers for pushing him to do his best work every day. Without all of these people, Kim Roy would not have been motivated to finish. Thank you.
Benjamin Andrew Rocksmith.
Thank you, Mom and Dad and Jordan. You all have made this an experience. Thank you, class of 2013. This has been a learning experience which we will never forget. May everyone here be successful, and good luck to you all.
Brianna Michelle Weapon.
To Brianna's parents, she would like to thank you for never having to say out loud that she's your favorite child. And to her younger sisters and brother, Brianna, the pack leader, leaves you the secret to Mom and Dad's undying affection. Be the first one.
Tyler Michael Disney.
Tyler would like to thank his parents and family for the support they have shown him over his 4 years of high school. He looks forward to bigger and better days.
Neil Andrew Atherton.
Neil would like to thank his friends for helping him throughout his high school career.
Wesley Calvin Sorrell.
throughout the years. Thank you, Colonel Fry and Chief Davis, for mentoring me for the future. Thank you to all the teachers and friends over the 4 years of high school.
Timothy Wayne Smith.
Tim is happy that he is finally graduated. He has learned a lot and feels as though with that knowledge he will be able to go and do great things. Tim would like to thank his parents and family.
Marcus Andrew Young.
Dodia Virtual High School provides online curriculum leading to a diploma for students in areas that do not have a local DOT school. One of their graduates this year is joining our ceremony. Dr. Seuss says, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind."
Caroline Catherine O'Rourke.
Carla would like to thank her teachers, friends, and family for everything they have done for her. She promises not to ask her mom and dad for money too often, and only for throwing wild parties.
Jasmine Deshay Collier.
Jasmine would like to thank her family and friends for being her support system throughout high school. She wouldn't have been able to make it here tonight without you all, and she loves you very much.
Sir John Mackay David Blackwell.
So John would like to thank his mother. She's been a blessing in his life, and he only hopes he can use all the wisdom she gracefully gave him.
Hugh Long Benton Nylon.
He would like to thank his father for pushing him and encouraging him to do well in school. He would also like to thank his stepmom, Terry, for doing the same. Without them, he wouldn't be here.
Xavier Mariano Monteliquet.
Xavier would like to thank his parents and friends, as he would not be here without their love.
Jamal Kenneth Webb.
Jamal would like to thank his father for pushing him and having faith in him. He would also like to thank the staff at LHS for providing him with extra advice for his future.
Christopher Reed Cedarstadt.
Chris would like to thank his family and friends for supporting him throughout the years. He will never forget playing with the Lakenheath basketball team, hitting the buzzer beater shot to win the championship game at Stuttgart.
DeAndre Ryan Ellis.
DeAndre wants to thank all his swag compatriots and family. He especially wants to thank his mom. Without everyone's help, he wouldn't be the same fly player he is today. This is the best life he'll ever have.
Christian John Farrell.
Christian would like to thank his mom and dad for pushing him forward. He wants to thank his brothers, Daniel and Adam, for being supportive. He thanks all of his friends, but specifically Rachel and Bishop, for being there and keeping him strong. Thank you all.
Joshua Lee Barra.
Joshua would like to thank his family and friends for believing in him and helping him enjoy his high school career. Joshua would also like to thank God for blessing him with these memorable years of high school.
Giancarlo de Lafuente Ruiz.
Giancarlo would like to thank his parents for always pushing him and supporting him. He thanks all his teachers and all his brothers from other mothers for the laughs and the ups and downs. Thanks to the veterans.
Trenton James Adamson.
It's about hope, it's about dreams, it's about friends who work together. It's about reaching for the sky and giving the courage and willingness to try. It's about about never giving up. So hold your head up, and we will carry on. Good luck, class of 2013.
Emily Rose Smith.
Emily thanks her mom and dad for support and love and for always being there. She also thanks her best friend, Austin Walker, and her boyfriend, JC, for making high school unforgettable. She loves all of you.
Shari Tashana Brewster.
Shari would like to thank her family for all the love and support. After 8 long years, Shari is ready to say goodbye to England and hello to a new start and warm weather.
Beatrice Selena Vela.
Betty would like to thank her family and friends, that Eunice, Omar, and her mom. She wouldn't be where she is now. They have inspired her and helped form who she is today. The journey has been long, but it will open now to a new chapter.
Noelle Francis Gaborio Whitcomb.
Noelle thanks her loving mother, father, brothers, and sister for all of their support and encouragement throughout her life. She thanks her friends for all the fun memories and wishes them the best as they all start a new chapter.
Savannah Nicole Roberts.
Savannah would like to thank her teachers, family, and friends for their support and the fun she has had over the years.
Paul Hamilton Williams.
Paul would like to thank his family. Thank you to Mom, Dad, and Daniel for always believing in him and pushing him and supporting him through everything. Thanks for helping to get him this far because he really appreciates it.
Megan Colleen Hathaway.
Megan would like to thank her family, friends, and co-workers for their continued support. As Sleeping with Sirens say, I've got the whole world in front of you.
Vista Dawn Wagner.
Vista wants to thank her friends and teachers, but mostly her family, because without their love and support, she couldn't have gotten here today.
Felicia Marie Espinosa McKinney.
Dad, Mom, Uncle, and Granddaddy, can you believe that your princess has graduated? Well, believe it. Thank you all for everything you have done to make this young lady who she is today. She loves you all so much.
Scott Batrazola Panias.
Scott would like to thank everyone whose support has helped make this moment a reality. His teachers for pushing him through school, his friends for being there through his ups and downs, and his family for never giving up on him.
Rebecca Leanne Cox.
Rebecca would like to thank her family for all the love that encouraged her to be better. She would also like to recognize everyone in her life who made her who the person she is today. She is grateful for the experiences.
Alyssa Dawn Hanson.
Allie would like to thank her 6 siblings and parents for always being there to push and encourage her to do the right thing. She also wants to thank her friends for making her high school years the best possible.
For pronouncing the Declaration Please hold your applause until the list is complete. To tonight's speakers, Allie, Kaylin, Killian, and Mr. Dawson. Tonight's singers, Shari and Rebecca. To our junior honor guards who have been helping out throughout the evening. To Mrs. Donaldson and the Lakenheath Corral. To Colonel Fry, Chief Davis, and the JROTC Color Guard. To the members of the LHS faculty that are present tonight and those who took part in tonight's procession as well. Thank you, Ms. Ellis and Ms. Henshaw, for reading the names of tonight's graduates. And to Mr. Martinez, who stepped up as interim assistant principal for the past 5 months. Your help and support have been invaluable. Thank you. And also a special thanks to the behind-the-scenes worker, our school registrar, Ms. Nikki Newman. Let's have a round of applause for these. Also to our senior team of senior counselor, Mr. Russ Wendling, and our senior class sponsors who put a lot of time and energy into this event tonight to make it as efficient and organized and well-run as it has been, Mr. Doug Rehack and Ms. Kathy Daly. Let's give them a round. Now, class of 2013, despite this being an end to your high school experience, you face a new beginning. So remember to use the choices you have made throughout to be opportunities to learn. Focus your learning experiences to reach your post-high school goals and enjoy the new opportunities that await you. I hope you realize that your parents and faculty of Lakenheath High School, home of the Lancers, have worked together to provide all of you with armor for intelligence, good character, and the tools for good health and well-being. May your armor last you a lifetime. It is part of your destiny. As principal of Lakenheath High School, I have reviewed the transcripts of each of these students. I certify that they have met the graduation requirements of the Department of Defense dependent schools. To mark this moment in ceremony and tradition, I will ask these candidates to participate in the turning of the tassel. The movement of the tassel from one side of the graduation cap to the other symbolizes a student's completion of schooling or the transition from candidate to graduate. And protocol dictates that the tassel be worn on the right side of one's cap at commencement and then during the ceremony moved to the left side. Now I will ask that the junior marshal signal for the class of 2013 to stand. Class of 2013, I ask that you use your left hand to grasp the tassel and move it to the left.